Hyundai has really come a long way in the world of technology. Gone are the days of the Hyundai Excel, a simple, straightforward vehicle with no frills nor any advanced features that weren't already standard on the most standard of cars. Flash forward to 2023, and Hyundai is leading the way with advanced features that were at one time only options on six-figure European luxury vehicles. Take, for instance, the Lane Keep Assist feature. Staring for you as you sip your $10 Starbucks venti peppermint mocha latte, decaf, hold the whip, completely hands-free. Standard equipment on the 2022 Hyundai Elantra N. What a world we live in. A sub $40,000 performance car considered by many one of the best bangs for the buck vehicles available today, equipped at no extra charge with such revolutionary advancements. But somewhere, in the deep, dark recesses of the research and development department at Hyundai, sat a miserable, lonely engineer conjuring up their masterpiece of frustration and confusion. That vile, soulless pit of a human is the one responsible for what we and performance owners loathe to call Octane Learning. So, what is it and why is it hated among the N community? Let me explain. Gone are the days of old-school port fuel injection, as Hyundai chose to go with direct injection, mainly as a way to increase efficiency for better gas mileage. Because Hyundai wanted to keep the Elantra N not only within reach to the masses with a reasonable MSRP, but they chose to allow low-cost options for fueling. So while premium fuel is recommended, it is not required. As a result, our brilliant engineer devised a process for the ECU to learn what octane level fuel the owner filled the car with. Seems to make perfect sense, right? It would if it didn't require a precise driving process to ensure the ECU calibrates with the premium fuel, which takes not only optimal driving conditions, but has no indicator or alert to let the driver know if Octane Learning has been successful or not. What's the process, you ask? Only upon filling up with gas, the owner must drive at 70 miles per hour or above in 8th gear for the DCT, 6th gear for the manual, for 7 to 8 minutes straight. All right, that's weird, but not that bad, right? Well, for most of us that aren't living in the middle of nowhere with flat, straight roads with 75 mile per hour speed limits, we have to coexist with other drivers on the freeway, hoping no one gets in front of you, there's no stop traffic ahead, no curves to slow down for, and no hills to make the transmission shift down a gear. And after 7 or 8, or do I go 9 or 10 minutes just to be safe, there is absolutely no indication that anything at all has happened. No lights, no buzzer chime, nothing. So what if your speedy little Korean performance sedan isn't octane learned? Can't possibly make that much of a difference, right? You'd be surprised. Stay tuned to find out the results of my 0 to 60 testing, both while octane learned and not, and my thoughts on living with or without the Riddle wrapped in an Enigma, Octane Learning. Alright guys, so you could see that I had a little fun with my intro there for Octane Learning, but in all reality, it is an extremely frustrating, ridiculous process to go through. So what I did as far as my 0 to 60 testing is, I did 3 runs, and unfortunately I lost the footage. I thought they were old videos, and I actually deleted the footage off my GoPro. So I don't have any video evidence of it, but thankfully with this car, when you do a 0 to 60 on the timer, it records your time for you. So I'll just kind of explain the first 3 runs and what happened with each one and the results. And just for reference, I have Continental DWS 06 Plus tires on 18-inch wheels. So they're not the stock Michelin PS4S on the 19. So it's a different tire setup. So for the first run, I was able to get launch control to activate. Everything worked good. I have it set at 2,700 RPM. Launched good. Spun a little bit through first and second. But the end result was a 5.31 second 0 to 60. And I should know I hit NGS on that. So once it shifted into second, I hit NGS and I got a 5.31. Not quite what I was expecting. I was definitely expecting a better time. So I decided to do a second run. This one, unfortunately, I was not able to get launch control to activate, which I've had similar incident happen at the drag strip and could not get it to go no matter what I did. And so I just went off throttle and I ran a 5.69. So terrible. I mean, still great for a front wheel drive car, but I've seen everything from 4.8 to, 5.1 or 2 for the DCT. So the third run I did was basically an exact repeat of the first run. I got launch control to activate. I hit NGS when it shifted in a second, and I got another duplicated 5.31. So those were the 3 runs I did on the first initial testing. And like I said, I just wasn't very impressed, and I was wondering like what's going on here. This car should be quicker. I ran a 12.9 in the quarter mile. Granted, that's on a prepped track, but still, I thought for sure this car would be at least a 5 flat 0 to 60. And then it dawned on me, oh yeah, I never octane learned on the tank of gas that I had in the car. So I do run Shell 93 most of the time. I mean, occasionally if I'm not around the Shell, I'll have to get Exxon, or I try to keep with the top tier. But I did not octane learn that tank when I did my initial testing. So it actually became kind of a cool thing where I could say, okay, I'll make sure I octane learn this next tank of gas. And as I pointed out in the intro, there's no actual official like ding or chime to let you know it's octane learned. You just have to hope it did it. And so when I went for round 2, knowing that the car was probably octane learned, I should mention also that I turned traction control off on these runs. Same with the first runs I did. Traction control was off. Traction control was off for the second runs too. Did everything the same way I did with the first batch of runs, and that's activate launch control, 2700 RPM. And these I actually have the video of. I didn't delete these. So I'm going to show you my first run and what the result was of that. All right, as you saw, the results were much better, right? A 5.1 versus a 5.31. But what you'll notice is, or maybe you didn't notice, I didn't hit NGS in that first run. So that was completely no NGS, just launch control, octane learned. I picked up, what is that, 2/10 of a second? So obviously I wanted to go back and I wanted to make sure I hit the NGS button on the second run. And so I went back, and here's the results of that run. Again, launch control, traction control off, and this time, after second gear, I hit NGS, and here's the results of that. You can obviously see the difference in octane learned and non-octane learned. So a huge difference. Finally got into the 4s. Nice. So as you can see, 4.93. That's more what I was looking for. So in the end, I mean, the results speak for themselves. You're going to be 2 to 3 to even close to 0.4 of a second faster when you're octane learned than non-octane learned. So this actually brings up another point. I was octane learned on that trip to the drag strip. And so looking at my 12.9 compared to what most of the online reviews were getting of the Elantra N, you know, it was like a 13.2, a 13.3. This car is definitely underrated from the factory. As long as you follow the procedure for octane learning, you can really reap all of the power of this engine. So let me know what you guys think about the octane learning. Are you as frustrated as I am about it? Do you do it every time you fill up, or only when you think about it? I really only honestly do it when I'm consciously thinking, okay, I might go to the track, or I might try to do a 0 to 60 run. Normally, when I fill up, I really don't think about doing the octane learning, but you know, now that I'm getting such better results, I might start just doing it every time I fill up. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts on the octane learning and all that. And yeah, look forward to the comments. As always, like and subscribe. Till the next one. Peace out.